Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
Core TV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to Core TV News this hour. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Residents of 3 communities in Borno State have repelled an attack by suspected Boko Haram fighters. Core TV News learned that about 200 of the militants were killed during the fighting in the Kalabage district of the state. The residents were said to have formed a vigilante group. Meanwhile, disgruntled soldiers opened fire on the convoy of a top military commander in Maiduguri, the state capital. No one was injured when angry soldiers opened fire as the convoy was heading towards the Mamalari barracks to protest against poor pay and a lack of equipment to tackle Boko Haram. Defense spokesman Chris Olukolade confirmed the incident had taken place in Maiduguri but says it was an internal matter and there was no reason for public concern. It is exactly a year since President Goodluck Jonathan declared a state of emergency in Borno and its neighboring states of Adamawa and Yobe in an effort to curb Boko Haram's insurgency. Governor Kasim Shettima of Borno State has sworn that he is prepared to sacrifice his life for peace to return to a state which had been under an emergency rule since 2013. The governor, however, says he was not afraid should the federal government decide to extend the emergency rule. He noted that a state of emergency imposed on the state and 2 others had over the year proved to be ineffective. President Goodluck Jonathan had on April 14, 2013 declared a state of emergency in 3 states of Borno, Adamawa and Yobe as a result of insecurity in the zone. He capitated the military for inefficiency while speaking on the heels of a reported attack on the villages of Ran and Kalabage in the state, where over 200 suspected members of the Boko Haram sect were engaged by the youths of the communities. The clash left many casualties. The governor, who spoke on the Hausa service of the British Broadcasting Corporation, monitored in Kaduna, also revealed that the civilian JTF, not the army, confronted the terrorists during Boko Haram attack on Giwa barracks in Maiduguri. He regretted that the condition of life in the state was degenerating as people wallowed in poverty because insurgents have made it impossible for business to thrive in the state and had rendered farming activities impossible. Shettima, who claimed his major concern was to rescue the abducted Chibok schoolgirls, says he was not bothered with the extension of the state of emergency. The federal government has formally declared that it would explore all options to rescue the over 200 schoolgirls abducted from a government secondary school in Chibok. Minister of Information Labaran Mako gave the indication while briefing journalists after the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja. He reviewed the video released by the insurgents as still being studied, but also wants the public to ignore information not coming from recognized sources. The Nigerian government, according to him, is not unmindful of the situation on ground and will do everything to keep the citizenry informed on a regular basis. A glimmer of hope appears in the horizon for the over 200 female students of government girls secondary school held hostage by the deadly Islamic sect Boko Haram. A former university don Sophie Oluwole explains that from the video it was observed that the girls were in a relatively stable condition, and all is left now is to ensure the safe return to freedom. In this report, Anita Fatuji took a help on security and other burning issues in the country.
The Boko Haram sect, which has been terrorizing the country since 2010, recently released a video showing the over 200 girls abducted from Government Girls Secondary School Chibok, Borno State. In the content, the leader of the violent sect, Shekau, says the girls have converted to Islam. He stressed that the only condition with which the girls can be released is for the federal government to release all members of the sect in the Nigerian prison.